Since we're unable to get the engine turned over, or whilst we're trying to do it through lubrication, in this episode we're going to start taking bits off and cleaning them up on the assumption that we're going to have to take the engine out in order to free it, and so this is to make that process easier. So we're got two things going on at the same time. One is we're every day putting some penetrating oil into the engine to try to free it up, but if that doesn't work, we're going to have to take it out and do it that way. We're going to have to take it out at some point anyway, but we'd have to take it out. So we're going to work through making sure everything's loose and removable. So first thing to come off is the air vent, which is already off. The second thing to come off is the bonnet catch. Right, so next bit is to disconnect the radiator hose at the bottom here, and also on the other side, just in front of the starter motor, there is a engine coolant plug, or drainant coolant plug or whatever, so that needs to come out as well. So I've sprayed both of those with penetrating oil, and we're going to have a go at this now. That's what came out from the radiator. Oh boy. That doesn't look nice, does it? This is what we drained out of the engine block. Some of these bits fell off on top, so those bits I'm less worried about. But I don't know if you can see there, we clearly got a bit of oil in there, which isn't great. And I can't actually smell. I could smell, in the other one I could smell some coolant, but in this I can't. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. So whilst it was draining, took the bonnet off, and the next thing to do is to take out the radiator. So I'm missing a bolt here, so we've got 3 bolts to get off, plus these, and I just need to check what's needed underneath. So we'll have a look at the radiator and come back to you. Okay, the radiator's out. It's not too difficult a task. These go in here. Bolt, lock washer and washer on each end. I only had 3, this one was missing. But these go on, and then they go on the radiator. They just fit on the radiator over there, so like that, hold it in place. You've got similar ones underneath as well. So it just pops on like that, so that's come out nice and easy, which is good. It's opening this up a bit. There was a bit more water as well in the radiator at that point, so we've got that out. So at some point I'm going to want to get probably an impact gun on here, so the next thing I think probably to come off is going to be the fan. I think. But what I might do is I might spend some time cleaning bits up first. Because I'm not going to leave it disassembled. I want to leave it put back together when I go away, and just easier to take apart again. So to do that, we need to clean the parts up and put them back together. So that's what I'm going to do. So when all else fails, clean up some parts. So the bolts and washers have all been wire wheeled. These have had Q rust underneath, and then they've got some hammerite or Q rust and then primer. So that bonnet latch is going to be done in a silver paint at some point. I just need to get some. These are the radiator holes, which were in black. It'd be better if they were sprayed, but for right now this will be better, and certainly better than it was. These are bonnet mounts, and those are normally body colour, but again they were so rusty. Better that they're painted something, and since I don't know what colour, although I think I quite like the white here, I don't know what colour we'll do in the end. Black will be sufficient because they're so well hidden anyway. So we're just tidying those up still as we're progressing. I want to move the fan because I think that when I come back up, I'm going to have to try. We're going to have to try an impact wrench on the engine, and so in order to get that in there, this needs to be off. So even though it doesn't need to be off in order to get the engine out, we do need it off for that. So I'm going to try and remove the fan now. I think it's just these 3 bolts, but what I don't want is to leave the engine open. So I'm going to take them off and see what it looks like and go from there. There's a 4th bolt down here which I can't get loose, and I can't get the full head on, and this feels like it's going to slip, and I don't want to round it off. So I've squirted it with a bit more penetrating fluid, and in the meantime I'm going to try taking this off instead. Okay, so that will give us room to get an impact gun in there, I should think. So that's all we needed for now. So I'm going to put those bolts back in. I'm going to take off the alternator mount and the engine hoist mount for no other reason than just to clean them up and put them back on. But I can't find the other one. There should be another one, I think, of these if you're pulling the engine out over here somewhere, and I can't find it. So anyone can tell me when you pull the engine out where the other one goes. that would be helpful. Thanks. The fan has been cleaned up and will stay off the car so that we can get a impact gun on it next time I'm up. Though I haven't done the radiator, and really given it's off I could have done, but the stays or whatever have been cleaned up for the radiator. The radiator will also stay off the car, so allow us to get an impact gun at it. We'll just see how we put the car back together for now. So bonnet's been put back on just to keep everything protected, make it easier for my dad to lift and shut it. And these couple of parts have been cleaned up and put back in just for the sake of doing something today. Tomorrow will be my last attempt to try to turn the engine by hand before I head off home again. So you'll already know the answer to that because it'll be the previous episode. But I still have the excitement of hoping it will turn tomorrow. I didn't have any clear coat with me. It'd have been nice if I could have painted these and do some clear coat over them to protect them, but I was really just trying to get the rust off and then get some protection on there to stop them longer term. So overall good. And for you, although they're there now, for you the next episode will be carbs, which I'm very pleased with how we did. I was worried about being able to get a V5C for my car, but thanks to the help of someone on the web, I've got that, so I have a V5C for it now, which is excellent. I tried to sawn it by sending in this form here at the same time as I applied for my V5C, but that came back, and I'll come to that. So as soon as I received my V5C, I went online and I sawned the vehicle, so that's statutory off-road, and I got an email back there saying it's all sawned and brilliant. Then I got a letter through the post saying I needed to do it, even though I'd already done it, so I checked and it was still there. And then I got a letter through the post saying, with the previous sawn, saying I don't need to sawn it because it's not been on the road. It's not been taxed since 31st January 98, and if it wasn't taxed after that point, it never needed sawing. So I know this car hasn't been on the road since then. And then I got a final reminder, or whatever you want to call it, saying I must do this immediately. So I gave them a call, and they've raised a case because it seems that on one system it says it needs it and on another it doesn't. But having discussed it with them, I found out that it hasn't been taxed since 97, so that's when it came off the road, was in 97. So basically 24 odd years.